The Sauvignon Gris is with our white wine. Wonderful, odd varietal. We have only 1 hectare of white grapes, period. Of that 1 hectare, 2/3 are Sauvignon Gris, 1/3 is Sauvignon Blanc, which is much more common. We don't really know how we got Sauvignon Gris. We think it's by accident when the previous owner ordered the young vines from the nursery to be planted in the mid-'80s. Either they did it intentionally because they wanted to get rid of the Sauvignon Gris vines or whatever. We really don't know. We're now in a position where we have 2 varietals, a majority of Sauvignon Gris, which is very, very rare. It's a pink grape. It looks like Gewürztraminer, very tight, like a fist, very productive, not the easiest varietal to grow. We actually need to de-leaf both sides to get more air movement in there, more sunlight, hence reducing the risk of botrytis, which is very prone to. Once all this is accomplished, we're looking at a very, very ripe, beautiful grape to be used. It's relatively low in acidity, relatively low in aromas, but we have the Sauvignon Blanc to compensate that. So now we have 2 grapes, Sauvignon Gris, Sauvignon Blanc. When we vinify it, we don't do any malolactic fermentation, and we don't put it through a barrel. It's only stainless steel, and then bottled a few months later. We do bâtonnage sur lit, so we stir up the lees to give it more body, and we clarify it with a vegetable-based agent. No animal protein, no ground pork bone, no ground fish bone, which is more common. So it is vegan, and it's very low in sulfites. My wife has a huge problem with sulfites, so we only use about 1/3 of the usual dosage prior to bottling. It's about 3 grams per hectoliter of sulfites prior to bottling. So those who are sensitive to sulfites will not have a reaction to this wine.
Great, very good. What's it like to be the owner of a petit chateau amongst the kind of common perception of Bordeaux being these very large chateaus, a lot of money, and the wines are very expensive?
Yeah.
In reality,
it's a good question. It's a very good question. There are 11,000 producers in Bordeaux today. Only 3% are the Grand Cru Classés. So that means 3%. It's very small, but they make all the noise. They make all the splash. Margaux, Lafite, Mouton, Aubryon, of course, several more that really make people dream about Bordeaux. But Bordeaux's strength, historically, is not really these prominent names. It's really the beautiful soil that we have and the maritime climate and the growing season. So the other 97% of people who are not Grand Cru Classés like us, Petit Chateaux, for instance, our strength is really the soil and the maritime climate, and just years of experience, savoir-faire, that I don't have just yet because I'm relatively new to this, but our employee Pascal does, our neighbors do as well. Bordeaux's strength is really just the terroir. Like one of France's, I know this is a word that's used a bit too much, but it really is the most important part of Bordeaux. For me, being an American, living there has been absolutely wonderful. No joke. I expected the worst. I expected to have jealousy, ambivalence, so on and so forth. Far from the truth. Most of our neighbors and peers are relatively young people who've taken over from their parents or have bought this themselves, which is a similar case to ours. And they have a very global social approach to this, and we actually share material. We actually buy barrels together to get a better price. There's a lot of camaraderie. I very much enjoy it. It's not at all what I expected.
that doesn't happen in too many industries.
Doesn't happen in too many industries. No, it doesn't.
Sharing like that.
It doesn't. And being a New Yorker living in Bordeaux, every day of my life is a new adventure in culture and experiences that to me is the most valuable. So I really enjoyed it a lot. My heart is there. I love the Southwest in general of France, but Bordeaux for me is really the most wonderful place to live in the wine country, in the wine regions of France, for a variety of reasons, mostly for the aesthetics and the great wines that are produced.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. I'm always happy to come back.
Excellent. Well, we hope to see you again over the summer, I think.
You definitely will. You definitely will.
And in the meantime, you can come in and buy the Montauban or the Chateau La Gatte at our shop. So please stop by and see us.